What's going on, people? This is Joshua. I just wanted to take the time to share a couple of points with you all, just something that's been really firm and strong on my heart, and I wanted to take the time again to get it off my chest. I had actually shared this information once before on Instagram Live. I just had a couple of strong points I wanted to make just regarding modern dating and our whole outlook and approach towards it. So this evening I wanted to educate you in a couple of principles. Number one, I want to make it clear that character counts. You know, in dating, character still counts. You probably saw that a lot, even in elementary school, junior high, when you go down the hallways and you see all of those little, character posters, and they always talk about, all of those virtues like honesty, integrity, consistency, teamwork, all of that goofy stuff. But, it really, those are strong principles that have lifelong applications. So first and foremost, I want to make the point that character counts. And I say this because I am in a world today where I just see people working on, so many exterior aspects of themselves. Everybody's working to make, more sculpted bodies, more voluptuous bodies. Everybody's focused on looking as pretty as they can, as handsome as they can. We're obsessed with all of these products, waist trainers, Botox, implants, etc. We focus so much on all of this exterior beauty, and just really, making ourselves into a pristine aesthetic, that we do nothing to refine our internal character. I can tell you right now from personal experience that, just really when it comes down to character, that's honestly key. It doesn't matter from my perspective as a heterosexual male, it doesn't matter how beautiful said woman is. I've met plenty of beautiful women, who were gorgeous on the outside, but on the inside, they were absolutely filthy. They were just really wicked and grotesque human beings that, sometimes took advantage of their pretty privilege, sometimes took the time to demean others who they didn't feel, were as qualitative as them, which is funny in a sense, kind of ironic. And, they just simply weren't people of substance, so I've seen women who, because of their attitude and the way they carry themselves, a lack of accountability, those vices, they betray any good that you would interpret, or receive from the exterior beauty. So I'm going to say it again, character counts, and that's so important because I'm at a level of maturity now, even in my own soul-searching journey, where I'm just not impressed with how gorgeous any woman is, how beautiful she looks on the outside, even the things she says, the words from her mouth. I'm looking at things like her maturity, how conscious is she, how does she handle circumstances when she's disappointed, when her expectations are frustrated. There's so many things, not just how she treats me, but the people around me. How does she behave even in my absence? There's so many other things to look at, and it's critical because we all are in the era of Instagram, where you got so many little snack cakes walking around and strutting around and flaunting their stuff, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm really, not even impressed with that, in part because it's so frequently mass marketed. I've met women in their 30s who act like they might as well, be teenagers. They call themselves, looking for meaningful relationships, from a spiritual standpoint. Some even call themselves, valuing their spiritual life, their morals. Some of them claiming to be Christians, but they're really, all of it is purely nominal. Especially in our American society. So it's just an interesting thing to see. But I think something that is to be treasured is a woman who's beautiful from the inside out. Someone who actually has character, who demonstrates consistency, and who has just a ton of heart. A heart for people, true compassion. Who's willing to sacrifice her personal interests and benefits for the good and the welfare of others. And I've seen women who demonstrate that expertly. I've seen it, in my mother and some other relatives of mine. I've seen it in family friends. I've seen it in former coworkers of mine. I've seen it in close friends. I've seen it in, a young lady who I could call my best friend. So I've seen those qualities demonstrated, and those are things I truly, value. It doesn't always mean in every instance that I'm considering that woman as a romantic interest, but I have more respect for that, versus the person who is absolutely nothing but looks. So one last time, I want to say that character counts. It's absolutely critical. The second thing that I want to talk about is just our women and how they carry themselves. I didn't form this video to necessarily make a critique of women. It might sound that way, but that's really not what I mean at all. And certainly there are some things to discuss even when it comes to our men. But for women, I just want to actually take the time to encourage and exhort you all to carry yourselves with dignity. Some of you, I think you should carry yourselves with so much more dignity than what you're displaying on our social media platforms. I see so many young women, presenting stuff that honestly, I could find anywhere. Part of the problem with it is, especially when it comes to, your physical attributes, your lips, your hips, and your fingertips, is, it's something that I get too much of just from regularly checking my feed. I already referenced Instagram before, and I had to say this, but, and honestly, there are times when, Instagram can seem like a softcore porn app. It's literally like softcore pornography on your phone. And it's like, I deliberately purpose, not to follow, female models, even, certain people in my network, maybe not in my close network, but, kind of in there, simply because of how they present themselves and represent themselves on these platforms. I'm happy to say that when I go through my feed, I can find more things on my favorite sports, my favorite authors, general inspiration and ministry. I fortunately see more of that than I see half-dressed women, although eventually it hits me in the face, the moment I get to maybe searching for a specific profile. You go into the search, and of course that's all you see. And I understand that Instagram is a visual app, and I understand that there are, female models out there, and, they dangle their carrots, they show off their goodies, because, they have some clout to maintain. They're chasing the prestige, they're chasing the relevance, they're chasing the approval, and they're just simply chasing the likes. They need momentum, for their platforms. And I know that's not who every woman is at heart. But again, I just want to make it urgent to you, to carry yourself with dignity, because what you're showing to, these commonplace vagrant men, is really something that should be reserved for your partner. It's something that's very good. Trust me, as a heterosexual male, I can say, it's a very good thing, although it has its place in this context. But it's something, because it's so good, it's something that you need to protect and reserve for somebody who actually deserves it. Somebody who has truly earned it. So again, I have to say, watch how you carry yourself, because even, as a man, in my dating life, and this pretty much goes for any man, if there's a lot of places, just to compare this to fast food, there's a lot of places that have big juicy burgers. There's a lot of places that have chicken sandwiches. So if I'm running after you just because you're any kind of big juicy something, eventually I'm going to be disappointed if there's no other service that you can provide, other than your physical goods. And that's the thing. It's like, what is it about you and what you provide that transcends your physical qualities? What you bring to the table from a physical standpoint, what you bring to the bedroom, so to speak, in that area. Do you have any qualities beyond that will motivate me, to stay and to remain as a committed partner? That's really critical, because we're just in a generation today where, honestly, for some women, and even for some men as well, that's pretty much all there is to see. Like, there's a problem if I can look at you, and the very moment I take you in with my eyes, I've already received and come to understand all there is to know about you. There's a problem when, even before we reach a level of deeper intimacy in a relationship, I already know a good deal about your proportions and your physical dimensions, because you've already shown me so much. There was nothing that I ever had to work for or find out as a relationship develops. And that's really what I'm getting at. Even, I've heard, and it's been said, that intimacy is just that. It is intimacy. So as two individuals, as they develop in their chemistry and they get to know each other better, they learn how to trust each other more and more. So, it may start with, the initial, acquaintance, building a great and sustainable friendship. And, as it develops, as you become closer and closer and more intimate in your relationship with your partner, then you gradually begin to unfold, even from the aspect of sex. Again, it's a very good thing, but it does have its context. It's not just for anybody, anytime, anywhere. It's for that person who has truly shown that they are committed to you. And ultimately, the reward they desire is greater than the cookie, because, there's plenty of guys out here who all they want is your cookie. But then there's men who really want more. such as myself, who seek a reward greater than the cookie. We want to know more about the beauty of your spirit, the quality of your heart, because when we look upon you and when we unify with you in marriage, it's no longer just us. It's no longer just our interests, but both husband and wife, they are in submission to one another. So when we're going 100%, it's not just fully me and everything that I want. And it's not just fully you and everything that you want, but it's our fulfillment and what makes us happy together. So as I'm going as a man, it's no longer just me, as the loving husband. It's not just 100% Joshua. It's 100% Mrs. Patterson as well. So I know that when I'm running, it's not just all of me, but I have the pleasure of knowing the fact that it's all of you, because I'm holding your hand and we're running together and we're fighting full force. And to me, nothing is sexier or more beautiful than that. Just knowing that you're really in sync with someone, not just in terms of your bodies, in the unity and the intimacy you enjoy in that department, but also in your minds and in your souls and in your spirit. So I wanted to take the time to share that with you, because I just really think this isn't something that we talk about often enough. For me personally, I feel that it's common sense, but it's something that all too often people tend to take for granted and not really put into account. And if you don't get anything else, just understand that, at the end of the day, there's so much more to you than just your physical qualities. While you're spending all this time beautifying yourself on the outside, consider the nature and the posture of your heart and what you carry inside. The second thing, of course, is to, once again, you got to carry yourself with dignity. I can't stress that enough, because what you have is very precious, and it's meant to be reserved for a very precious and special person. And that person, they shouldn't be able to see, all of your goods, all of your pleasure, all of your jewels out front. Even scripturally, it says, don't cast your pearls before swine. Why would you give something so precious to someone so trashy who's only going to mismanage it with a skewed mindset and attitude? You want to save that for someone who has truly come to earn it. And as you grow deeper and deeper, well, you get to show him more layers of yourself. You gave him a little bit at first, but now, he gets a greater reward. You give him a bigger cookie. You let him taste the chocolate chips. You're like, okay, so you enjoyed this. You shown me that I can trust you with this. Well, let me give you a little bit more of that. So at the end of the day, that's pretty much all I want to say. So again, watch the posture of your heart and carry yourself with dignity, because you're royalty. We're kings and we're out here looking for queens. So I can't wait to see what takes place at the onset of the inspiration coming from this video. So thank you so much for your time, and I wish you all a blessed and outstanding evening. Take care.